All right, I've been cut, but we continue. There was the first part of theft, which is the first thing that most people do, and we continue on the second part of theft, which has to do with fraud. In the matter of fraud, you see how easy it is to man to be seduced and stumble when he is apparently convinced that it is right to try and make his merchandise attractive to his fellows in order to profit by the toil of his hand, or to cajole a prospective customer into agreeing to make a purchase. So the way we make it attractive and the way we speak about something to someone, we have to be careful how we do it. People will say about all this, there's an industrious man who is rewarded. The hand of the diligent man prospers. But if he does not examine and weigh his actions carefully, thistles will grow instead of wheat. So on the spot, at the moment when this happened, it looks like he's actually, it's fine. But really, from it's not. It's going to go back. It's going to go against him. For he will transgress and fall prey to the sin of fraud, and about which we have been warned. You shall not defraud one another. And our sages, may they be blessed, said that one is forbidden to deceive even a non-Jew. Right? So all those people who say that it's a Gemara Chulin 94a. It is forbidden to fool people, even a non-Jew, of course. And this is because this applies to every human being. The reason it says even a non-Jew, it's not that the non-Jew is not important, and even non-Jews. That's not what it means. It means that you have to practice by Jews, and when you are now with non-Jew, did it become your second nature not to steal? So it's a test in a way. But not that it's just it's a non-Jew, so whatever, no, it has nothing to do with that. It's a training for us to see what level we'll achieve. And Scripture states, the remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. Our sages also said, one may not embellish old utensils to make them look new. One may not mix produce with produce. So we have to sell authentic, it has whatever problem in the thing, you have to say what's the problem in it. And they said in Sifre, from here they said, one may not mix produce with produce, even fresh produce with fresh produce, even if they both sell for a dinar per seah. Even if they're worth a dinar and a trezit per seah, he may not mix the two and sell for a dinar per seah. Anyone, so meaning everything has to be authentic. Even at the end, it's the same price. The customer has to know exactly what he's purchasing. Anyone who does all these things, who commits any fraud, such a person is given 5 designations, so 5 nicknames: unjust, hated, an abomination. So people say, oh yeah, he's homosexual, it's an abomination. Well, you know what, you steal like that, you're doing an abomination, right? So people, for you to understand the gravity of it, and before talking about other people, talk about yourself. Of no use, and then so unjust, hated, abomination, of no use, and abhorrent. So that's bad. Like each time you do that, it's like 5 transgressions, almost like when we eat an insect, 5 transgressions. They also said one may not inflate an animal's entrails, and one may not soak meat in water, and so on. Okay, and then there's the third category of stealing. Our sages, may their memory be blessed, also said, if one steals even the worth of a pruta from another person, it is as if he takes his life from him. I don't know if he's going to say, but that's what happened with the flood. We got a flood because that's how it started with this. Take a little bit, and you don't know that nobody knows you're stealing, and that's even worse because you are not it's like killing slowly, so to speak. They said further, the rains are withheld only because of the sin of stealing. And they also said, in a basket full of sins which provokes the most accusation, theft, and the decree against the generation of the flood was sealed only because of theft. Okay, so I forgot it was already there. However, the general rule is this: any effort made to show the prospective customer the true quality of the object is good and right. But anything designed to conceal its defects is fraud and is forbidden. I need to discuss here the matter of dishonesty regarding measures, for it is explicitly said of them, an abhorrence of the Lord. As the verse states, for the abhorrence of Hashem your God is anyone who does all these things, who commits any fraud. And our sages have said the punishment for false measures is more severe than than forbidden relations. Whoa, that's pretty intense. It's hard to understand why. Maybe it's saying, right? If you put your scale and you make a fake measurement and you sell at the wrong price, it's worse than having relations. I think it's possible that because it looks like nobody even knows about it, there's no sense of feeling guilty much about it, and therefore it's harder in order to find out how to fix it. With a relation, it's more obvious and you know what to fix and with who and all that. For a customer, you don't know if you're ever going to see him again. Our sages, may their memory be blessed, also stated, a wholesaler must wipe his measures clean every 30 days, so they are not, unbeknown to him, diminished by an accretion of residue, and he is not punished on that account, God forbid. Even less need be said about the prohibition of lending at interest, ribis, a sin that is as great as that of repudiating the God of Israel. Whoa. So if you may get interest from someone, right? It's like you're repudiating. I'm looking for the way. Oh, it's here. Kofer, Eloke Israel, kofer. That's like pretty scary. Right. So it's a very powerful thing. If you get interest, you have to be very careful. And our sages say, and so there are ways around it, and if you do it in a very specific way and with specific people, with specific situation, and one has to be really know the laws if one gets more money out. That's why when someone gives back change or say, oh, thank you for that, you have to make sure you want to give a tip. Sometimes tip is ribis. The tip not to a server, but like to someone who lend you money, or someone who, I want to give you a bit more, as a thank you. But you have to be very careful. You can't just give it like that. You have to say, this is not for what you gave me. I just want to give you this money as a gift of appreciation, but not as interest. It has to be very specific. It's not that simple even to do that. So one has to double check with the rabbi. And our sages, may their memory be blessed, have commented on the verse. He has loaned at interest and collected with increase. Shall he then leave? He shall not leave. That he will not come back to life at the time of the resurrection. Whoa. Like you won't even have resurrection of the dead, meaning you'll be completely out. For taking interest or even a shade of interest is abhorrent and detestable in the eyes of God. I see no need to expand on this sin, as it already cast its dread on every man of Israel. Whoa, scary. I don't think people realize how powerful that is. When we take money from someone else, it's not about that, but it's that time is the time that person has worked for. Therefore, that money that you have is stealing from the person's life. You're killing someone on some level. You're killing the time. Let's say that a person worked for half hour, and you steal through fraud, measurement, whatever you think, that money that he will have hour, you're killing half hour of that person in his life, because now it doesn't exist anymore. It was wasted. So that's and then here is interest is like taking advantage of other people. God cannot take that you take advantage of other people. It's meaning it's going against Samer Bechelko, that Hashem gives us all everything exactly what we need. And if we take with interest, that means you don't truly believe that God gives you everything we need. That's why probably it's such a big thing. And he concludes, in summation, just as the desire for wealth is great, so are the pitfalls, its pitfalls many. To be truly clear of them demands one's careful attention and scrutiny. If a person has cleansed himself of this desire, he may be sure that he has already reached a high rank of perfection. Okay, so it's not easy. For many are able to act piously in numerous areas of piety, but are unable to reach the goal of perfection in despising ill-gained profit. This is what Zophar the Namathit meant when he said to Eov, if iniquity be in your hand, put it far away, and let not injustice dwell in your tents. Surely when you shall lift up your face without blemish, and you shall be steadfast, and shall not fear. I have spoken thus far of the particulars of one mitzvah. Particulars of the same sort exist for each and every mitzvah, but I confine myself to those in which most people are accustomed to stumble. So we're finished here for the sin and negative trait of stealing, which is the most common that people do, and usually the reason it's more common is they don't even realize the different ramification. But that's the first one, and then tomorrow we'll speak about immorality, and we will have something about food and something about speech, and then there will be a last one on ego and gaiva. But we see that how many details we went through, and when we start thinking about it, it's like, oh wow, I probably was not 100% honest in the time I worked. It's really, but that's how detailed things are. So may we be able to be clean of all those traits and spend time learning the halachos of it, because without it, there's no hope. It's so easy. It's so especially with theft and speech, those are the most easy to disregard and not to pay attention to and miss. So, Hatzlacha Rabba.